Now it has been only a few years since MG Motors entered the Indian market. A few years back, MG also introduced its first electric car in the form of ZS EV, and we all know how popular that car has become in the Indian market. Now MG is planning to transform the electric car segment, especially for the commuters, by bringing this all new car that is right beside me. This cute little thing is called the Comet. Now we are spending the time with this all new car. We will tell you all about it. We don't know about the prices yet. However, with the features and the way it looks, you can decide and tell us, will this be able to really transform the electric car segment in the Indian market? Now the shape of the MG Comet is like no other vehicle in the Indian market, especially because of the two-door setup. It looks very unique, it looks very small, very compact. At the front you get a massive light bar that runs across the width of the vehicle, and it does attract a lot of attention, especially if you're driving the car at night. Just below that you get the charging port, and if the car is unlocked you can just press it to open it. You can put the charger here. We will talk about the charging thing later. Currently let's check out how the car looks. You get the headlamps right below here, so you get two projector lamps. Both are LEDs, and the throw is pretty good as well. We got a glimpse of this last night. However, we are yet to test it on a fully fledged dark road. From the front, the MG Comet does look quite interesting, I would say, and if you do get to see this car in your ORVM or rear view mirrors, you will definitely turn your head back to get a second glimpse. Now coming to the side, as you can see, this is a four-seater door. MG has provided a massive door that will allow the passengers to get to the rear as well, and because of that the window area, the front window area, is very wide. It's very massive. You get the chrome strip that starts from the front of the vehicle and it comes till the ORVM. It is a well integrated design, I would say. Now with this massive windows and a massive door, you do get 12-inch tires, and they do look very tiny with the stature of the vehicle. However, we think that people will come up with ideas to upgrade these tires and make it a bigger size. Now on the door itself, you get the door flap that you can use to go inside, and now this is a very uniquely designed door flap, and your hand will automatically go towards it to open it. You also get a driver request sensor on that side and a request sensor on this side as well. Now this is a fixed window. It doesn't operate, it doesn't open, but do check out the glass area of this MG Comet. It's massive and it takes up a lot of space on the profile of the car. You do get the electric badge right here, and overall from the side, the MG Comet, again just like the front, it attracts a lot of looks. We have been driving this car for a couple of hours now, and trust me guys, a lot of people have stopped us. They have been turning around their heads. They have been giving it a very shocking and curious look. Now let's quickly go behind and check the rear of the new MG Comet. Now just like the front end of the car, you get a light bar that runs across the width of the vehicle. You do get a massive MG badge, and below that you get the moniker of Comet that will announce the name of this vehicle. You again get a EV badge at the rear, and as all other MG cars, you get the Internet Inside moniker as well. Now coming to the tail lamps, they are again very uniquely designed. These are all LEDs. They look very sharp, very well integrated to the car's design as well. Down below you get the massive bumper with the reflectors as is. Now at the rear, the MG Comet gets a very flat design. Now we have been getting a lot of looks, a lot of head turns while we were driving this car around the city. Some people would love this car, some people would definitely hate the design. However, love it or hate it, you can't definitely ignore the new MG Comet when you see it on the roads. Now, as I told you before, the door of the MG Comet is massive, and as you can see, it is wide open for the easy accessibility to the rear seats, which I show you in some time, and the front seats, which I am at right now. The MG Comet gets a very minimalistic design, and because of that it gets a lot of space as well. For example, I'm currently sitting on the co-driver seat, as you can see, and to get on the driver's seat I don't even need to get out of the vehicle. I can simply slide to the driver's seat, and this will be very much useful, especially at tight parking spots where you can't get inside the car from the driver's seat or the co-driver seat. You can just slide around the front two seats. Anyway, now coming to the dashboard of the new MG Comet, as I told you before, it's minimalistic design and there is nothing much here. You do get some premium quality materials, like this is fabric on the dashboard, and the same kind of fabric you will also get to see on the door pads as well. Up above here it is all hard plastic. Now, one unique thing about the new MG Comet is the massive set of displays. You get two of them and they both are 10.25 engines. They are very bright, and during the bright daylight, as also as we are currently at, you can clearly see what is written on them and what it is showing. This the display, the infotainment system, it's touch screen based, and it gets both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as well. And as the badges on the outside says internet inside, it gets a few connected features as well. Apart from that, you get a uniquely designed AC vent that's positioned right below that, and I can already see a few scratches around here. So this is one problem that you face with the cars with a lot of glossy material on the dashboard. Apart from that, you can see a little amount of chrome that MG has used here, and it does make the car look a bit premium. Below that, you get 3 dials for the rear defogger, for the air condition control and the temperature as well. The display of these air climate controls are here in the infotainment system only. As you can see, it shows the various temperature and the fan speed as well. Now coming to the main display, the driver instrument cluster, it's bright as well, and as I told you before, it shows various kind of information related to the charge of the vehicle, the trip meter, and how much range does it has. It also gets the speedometer and various other kinds of meters that you can use to track the vehicle. Now coming to the safety, it gets 2 front airbags as standard. MG also gives 4 seat belt warning signs, which means if the passengers is sitting on the rear seats, they will have to belt up, or the chime in this car will keep on going on. Now the steering wheel, it's a cute little thing, and it will remind of a famous manufacturer of phone and devices of iPod. The buttons right here are very neatly designed. It's well integrated to the car, and the whole gray and white theme, it looks very trendy, it looks very aesthetically designed. The buttons right here are very neat, as I told you before, and they are symmetrically done. However, because of the symmetry, MG has added a few dummy buttons here and there. So you get the steering wheel controls for the infotainment system and to control the driver instrument cluster as well. You can adjust the steering wheel for tilt, but you can't adjust it for height. So apart from that, coming to the space part of the vehicle, you get a lot of it. You don't get a glove box, a proper glove box. However, you get a small space where you can keep your phone and other small items. You also get cup holders right in the front of air conditioned vent, so you can place your coffee mugs or things like that in here. So that's all about the dashboard. Now, as it is minimalistic design, MG has used the minimum number of buttons around here. So in order to start the car, there is no physical button that you will spot on the vehicle. Instead, you will have to press the brake pedal twice to start the vehicle. It will automatically start, and you can just put it on the drive mode and go on. Now, if you want to stop the car, if you want to shut down the car, you will have to get out of the vehicle. You will have to use the key fob to lock the car to able to shut it down completely. You can't do it while sitting inside the vehicle. You also get the ORVMs, which are electrically adjustable. The controls of them are right on the right side of the steering wheel. In the center console, you get a rotary dial. It's a jewel shaped rotary dial which will give you sparkles here and there, and it does look pretty premium as well. It gets the normal R&D mode, plus there is a plug sign that will glow when the car is charging. Behind that, you get the buttons for the windows, the front two windows, as the rear windows are fixed. You get the auto window for the driver's side and the normal regular window for the co-driver's side. Behind that, you get a handbrake. It's a manual handbrake in the international models. The same car, a sister concern of the same MG company, they provide electronic parking brake. We have been told that MG is not offering the EPS or electric parking brake in the Indian market to keep the costs on a budget. Apart from that, coming to the seats themselves, so these are a very basic seats. You can compare them to the jump seats many cars get, but since MG is only targeting the commuters who will travel less than 50 kilometers daily, these seats we feel are adequate. While sitting on the seat, you can see that my height is around 5'10", and there is not much of an under thigh support. Apart from that, MG provides a lot of aftermarket accessories which you can get from the dealership, that you can install the armrest, the central armrest with a proper sliding function. Also, you can install other features like a tray to charge your phone and keep other items here. There are many different things that MG provide to customize the vehicle. Now let's quickly jump to the rear seats of the car, but before that, let me show you what the boot looks like. Now this is the key to the new MG Comet, and as you can see, this is also minimalistic design. It only got 3 buttons: an unlock button, lock button, and a button to open the boot. So we will press this and use the button right here to get access to the boot. Now there is actually no real boot space around here. We have folded down the rear 2 seats to accommodate our luggage here. Now MG says that most people do not carry much more than just a laptop bag, and for that the space in the MG Comet is quite adequate. However, if you do want to carry more luggage, you can always fold down the rear 2 seats, make it flat, and put down your luggage like it. Now to jump to the rear seats, we will get the luggage out, we will straighten up the seats, and we will get to the rear. Now to get into the rear seats, we will use the front door only, and there is a lever that we will use to fold down the seat. So this is how you go to the rear seat of the car, and as you can see, the front seat is adjusted according to my height, and there is still ample space, I would say, for a person of my height in the rear. You get fixed headrests around here, and there is not many features for the people who will sit in the rear, which I hope is not often. You do get door pockets, the seat pockets behind both the front seats, so you can keep your things. Apart from that, there is no other storage space around here. There is no armrest as well. So since the front window is quite big and you get a fixed glass here, some people might find it a bit claustrophobic. However, since this car is meant only to be used for short distances, that should not be a problem for many. Apart from that, it is an ample space for an occasional use. I think the people who will use it regularly will find it cramped. However, if you only are going to use the seats very occasionally, very rarely, these are ample and these are pretty much good. Just like the front seats, there is not much of an under thigh support. However, you can use them and settle down here for short distances. Now the MG Comet, it gets powered by a 17.3 kilowatt hour battery pack that's good for around 230 kilometers of range according to the official figures provided by MG Motors. However, in the real world conditions, that will drop to around 190 to 200 with the AC on and the traffic and everything else. We have been driving this car since morning. It is currently showing 51% and the range according to the display is around 102 kilometers, which means it will do around 190 to 200 kilometers very comfortably. And trust me guys, we are driving this car since morning. It's very hot around here. As you can see, it's very bright and sunny. The temperature is in the north of 40 degrees. The MG Comet's AC is at the lowest setting possible, and this has been cooling down the cabin very well. We haven't turned down the AC off for even once. We have been getting a lot of looks from other cars as well, as you just saw in the video. Apart from that, the battery itself, it takes about 7 hours to charge from 0 to 100%. There is no fast charging here, so you will have to charge it overnight wherever you do it if you use it daily as well. Coming to the power of the motor, it is about 41 PS and the peak torque that it generates is 110 Nm, which means that it's not very powerful. However, since the MG Comet is not very heavy, it's a very lightweight car, it feels very ample. You would not feel that you require more power, especially in the traffic situations. And since MG is targeting the customers who will drive this car around the heavy traffic situations, this feels pretty ample. Trust me, you will not feel that the power is any less, or you would have wanted more power from the MG's Comet. However, you will miss one thing in the traffic, and that's the creep mode. So what happens is, I will come to a stop right now. Imagine that there is a traffic light, the red traffic signal, and the car has come to a complete stop. Now this car will not start moving on its own until and unless you lift your foot from the brake pedal and press the accelerator. So there is absolutely no creep mode in this car. You will have to fiddle with the accelerator to ensure that this car moves ahead. Apart from that, it gets 3 regeneration modes. There is one light mode, there is one normal mode, and then there is one heavy mode. However, even in the heaviest settings, the braking from the regeneration is not as heavy as we saw in other cars, which means that you might not be able to use the MG Comet only with a single pedal. So in many other cars, what happens is the regeneration in the heaviest level, the level 3 level or the highest level, you can simply use the accelerator pedal to slow down and even come to a stop. However, that doesn't happen in the MG Comet. Apart from that, coming to the drivability of the vehicle. Now, since this car has been designed for the city traffic, it is actually extremely fun to drive inside the city traffic, especially because of its size. Yes, this is the smallest car that is currently available in the Indian markets, and that means you can take those small gaps, you can change the lanes and go ahead of the traffic without any problems, without any issues. You won't get stuck with this car anywhere. However, if you are going to do these lane changes at high speed, after some days, after some time even, you might not want to do it, and that's because it's a top heavy car. It has a lot of body roll issues. So if I show you, we are doing currently 60, and if I suddenly change the lane, the car sways from one lane to another. You don't feel that you are much in control, and you will not want to do that too often. Now the suspension is on the softer side, so it will absorb a lot of undulations on the road, so you will not feel very uncomfortable on the bad roads. However, mix this with the tall body design and the soft suspension, it is not ideal at all. You will not feel very comfortable in the car especially if you are driving it at around even 40 to 60 kmph and changing lanes. So that's one of the major problems that you will face with the MG Comet. Apart from that, it gets a nice little steering wheel, and the turning radius of this car is so nice, it's so quirky that you can even maneuver it in a basement with a lot of pillars. Now coming to the comfort of the car, we have been driving this car for a couple of hours now, and as I showed you earlier, it doesn't get much of a thigh support, and honestly we haven't been able to find a very comfortable situation as well. So fatigue will definitely set in if you spend a lot of time on the driver's seat or the co-driver's seat of this vehicle, and it will 200% set in if you sit in the rear of the car. Now, because of the softer suspension setup, what happens is if you go and apply the brakes very harshly, very roughly, the car tilts forward, it actually nose dives, and you do not feel very confident while you are doing hard braking in this vehicle. Apart from that, this car can reach a top speed of 105 kmph. It does take a lot of time to go there. However, if you're doing city journeys and commutes to your office daily, I don't think you will ever need to hit that speed on your vehicle. It also gets 3 modes. You get the eco mode, you get the normal mode, and the sport mode. The steering wheel of this car does feel heavier when you are driving it at the highest speeds. However, in my opinion, it is still on the lighter side, and you do not feel very confident while driving the car at higher speed, as I told you before. Now, the MG Comet, it is a perfect car for city drives. It will suit your city driving and commute needs pretty much. However, if you are looking for a car that can go on longer routes, that can go on the highways, this car is not meant for you, and this is something that MG also officially claims. So if you're looking for a car only for commuting and your regular journeys, the MG Comet is one option that you can look forward to. Now, during our time with the new MG Comet, one thing that we noticed is this car attracts a lot of attention on the road, especially because of its shape and size. But so did the Tata Nano. Now, MG is aiming this car at youngsters and daily commuters who would not ever leave the city limits. However, there is already a car for that, and that's called the Tata Tiago EV. Tata has priced that car for the base variant. It is 8.7 lakhs, and that will be the price to beat for the MG Comet. Now, when MG sits and decides the pricing of this car, they will have to know that pricing and pricing alone will be the deciding factor for the success story of this car. What do you think the pricing of this new MG Comet should be? Do let us know in the comment section below, and as always, do not forget to subscribe to the Car Talk channel and press the bell icon to get such regular updates.